So hi guys, welcome back to the channel and part 4 of the long range desert group Dio command car build series. There's lots going on with this one. So in this part we're going to get some paint down eventually after a long time. We're going to get the base colour down and all that stuff. We're going to get the stowage painted. I don't propose to show me painting the stowage because I did that both on the SASG build and the Pink Panther build. So you know how I do it. It's all brush painted, and then we'll get it all done. We'll do a little bit of decaling because there's a few decals on this one, or decals for those that are in the know. Yeah, so we'll get that done. And then I'll come back right at the end and show the kind of where we're at, which essentially is going to be hopefully everything painted, ready to weather, really, which we'll do in part 5. Part 5 will cover the weathering. Yeah, so I'm going to stop waffling because you're not here to watch me, you're here to see the build hopefully and the process. So we'll go and get all that done, and then I'll come back right at the end and share my thoughts and say my goodbyes. So I'll see you all really soon. Cheers. So guys, before we head into the spray booth, I've talked about this stuff a lot in previous build series and showing what I use, but just as a bit of a refresher, I think. So we're going to be spraying the primer using Ultimate Modeling Products grey primer, the best acrylic primer bar none. Just my go-to primer. It comes in various colours, but we're going to be using the grey because we're going for that light sand kind of look. So grey is the ideal colour as a primer. With that stuff, just make sure you give it a really good shake, and you'll have no issues at all. It's straight out the bottle, does what it says on the tin. The base colour of the vehicle, we're going to be using Tamiya XO59, which is a good colour. It's the desert yellow, and that's going to give us that base colour that then we can work with and move on forwards. For all the stowage that we're going to be painting, we're going to be using various model colours. I'm not even sure myself yet which ones we're going to use. It's just a bit of test and adjust. I'm lucky enough to have pretty much the full range, so I can just test and adjust. We're going to be using greens and browns and khakis and all that stuff. And then for the stowage, we're going to be using things like Army Painter, Military Wash. We'll be using some Citadel Agrax Earthshade, Seraphim Sepia, Norn Oil, and all that stuff. And we'll just have a bit of a mix and match. I don't propose to show me painting the stowage on the videos. If you go back, certainly the SAS Jeep and the SAS Land Rover, the build series I've got on the channel, shows me painting that stuff. So I don't want to go over old ground really. So that's it. Everything we're spraying, we're going to be spraying through one of these bad boys, which UMP Apex airbrush. We'll be using the 0.35 or the 0.5 for the primer, and then we'll be using the 0.35 needle, which is a standard needle in it, for the base colour. So without further ado, let's stop wasting time. Let's get into the spray booth and let's get some colour on this thing. All right. So guys, here we are. We're going to start applying the decals, or decals as we now like to call them. So what we're going to be using is the Ultimate Modeling Products normal decal solution, which is pretty much the best you can buy. We're going to be using some cotton buds and a cocktail stick, some tweezers, and the trusty scalpel blade. And the way we're going to apply the solution is by using one of these, which is one of these watercolor brushes. I don't put the solution in it, but the brush is perfect for applying it, and just some warm water. So these are the decals that you get with the kit. Very simple, there's not many of them. So what I propose to do on camera is show decal in the rear, and then the rest I'll do off camera, because once you've seen me apply one, you've seen me apply all of them, really. It's all done in exactly the same way. So looking at the instructions, we're going to go for the L461-8345 with the T9 panel. So they're the decals that we're going to be using. So we'll cut those out. You don't really see me cutting decals from a sheet. It is what it is. So just using the blade. So we need a T9, and we need one of the registration plates ending in 8345, which we have. Perfect. So these are the decals we're going to be putting on the back. So there's only two of them, just there. So we're going to drop those into the warm water, and then we're going to be placing them essentially around this panel here, sort of left of or right of center as you look at it. So that's where we're going to go. So give the decal solution a shake, and then the way I do it is I decant a little bit of it just into the top of the bottle. And as I say, this is very, very good stuff. So we get it on the brush, and then what we're going to do is put that solution into the panel. Don't need loads. And then we're going to use our tweezers just to take out the decals from the warm water. These aren't going to take a lot of time. The water is quite warm. Been out of the kettle for, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes maybe. Use our finger, and as soon as it starts to move, we know we're good to go. So we use our tweezers to take it off there, and then we're just going to place it where we need it to be, which is right in the center of that panel there. And because of the solution, we can move it around a little bit to exactly where we want it, and we want it as central as we can go. Nice and straight, and you've got a little bit of working time with this solution, and that will do us for that one. So then we're just going to use standard cotton bud, and we're just going to press that into place all around the edges. Make sure that we're happy with its position, and there we go. So that's that one, and then we'll use the identification markings, serial number, whatever you want to call it. And again, once that starts to move, we're happy. Just careful we don't get it rolling around too much around the paper. And we'll take that off. And again, this one
is going to go right at the top here. So it's going to go across the kind of panel lines a little bit. Let's get some more tweezers. Oh, bang my head on the light. So just manipulate it very gently into place. Get it exactly where we want it to be, which is a little bit more to the left as we look at it, and we're happy with that position there. So we've got a bit of a contour around there, so we'll just get a little bit more solution and we just gently brush that over the decal. We'll do the other panel one with there, and we can use the brush just to manipulate that to exactly where we want it. And then again with the Q-tip or cotton bud, we're just going to push that very gently into place. Give it a little roll over the contour of the panel, and there we go. So there we go, guys. We're starting to get there now. On camera it does look a bit slanted if I'm looking at the screen with the camera, but actually in reality it's exactly where we want it to be. So there we go. So I'm going to do the rest of the decals off camera, and then we'll come back right at the end of the video. We'll have a look at where we're up to before we move on to weathering in the next part. Okay, so I'll do the rest of these off camera. You don't need to see me doing all of them, and yeah, we'll crack on. Cheers. So guys, here we are, and this is where we're at. So we have all the stowage done, and that, as I say, has all been brush painted with model colour and Citadel washes, Army Painter washes, etc. So we've got that finished. Same as this here, and these bits, that's going to go along the side. These are the front canvas rolls that are going to fit into these brackets here. The vehicle itself is all painted now, all detail painted. Again, that's been brush painted on. It's had the decals put on it, or decals. I keep getting that wrong. The decals are on it, and then it's had a coat of aquagloss ready for weathering in the next part. So essentially that's going to fit in there like that. That's going to fit in there like that, he says. And then we're going to have the canvas rolls on the front, and we're going to have this bit here along the side, and then we're all good to go. So the plan is, in the next part, we're going to weather the vehicle first, bring out all the rivets and all the detail on it, and then we're going to essentially add the stowage, and then we'll do the final weathering on it, up to a point, because obviously we're going to put this on a dio. So what we want to do is be able to tie that weathering into the dio eventually, to kind of make it look like it's supposed to be there. But yeah, very happy. That's where we're at. It's quite shiny at the minute. That will change, because they weren't shiny, but there we go. So I'll go back face the camera, say my goodbyes, and I look forward to seeing you in the next part. Cheers. So there we are. We've got the paint down, we've got all the stowage painted, we've got a gloss coat on it now, the decals are down, we're ready for weathering now, which is a nice stage to be at. For me, the weathering of a build is where it really starts to
to come to life, and particularly as we're putting this one on a dio, the weathering is going to be an important stage, which will be part 5. Yeah, it will probably be quite a long video, part 5, because I want to show every stage of the weathering process that I do, as I did with the Jeep and the SAS Land Rover. That tends to be quite a long video because you want to try and encompass everything that you're doing in that video. I appreciate on this one I've not shown painting the stowage, I've not shown putting a clear coat on and all that stuff, but that stuff I've shown before in other build series. If you go back through the channel, look at the SAS Jeep, look at the SAS Land Rover, and I went into a lot more detail about how I'm doing stuff. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're ready for part 5 of we're ready to start weathering and bringing this thing to life. And then going forwards, we'll look at the figures and doing the dio base and all that stuff. So it's a long-term build series. It's not going to be a quick one. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your ongoing support. Stay safe. If you're in the UK, stay at home, do the right thing, and I'll see you all in part 5. Go and check out the other videos on the channel, bench updates and all that stuff that's going on. But for now, please stay safe, stay well, and happy modeling. Bye bye.